Hollow body frog fishing is so much more than just fishing heavy slop and matted vegetation. Well, today we'll cover some key situations as well as some subtle changes you can utilize that will make this iconic lure even more versatile. But let's first define the two ways we can look at a frog lure. And yes, there is a little overlap, but I think you'll get the general idea. Number one, we can use a hollow body frog to try and actually imitate a real frog. Well, that makes sense. And number two, we can look at these hollow body baits as the best tool for working across heavy slop. Whether or not the lure resembles a frog is secondary. The primary focus is that the lure can fish in areas where many other options just won't work. And you may be thinking, well, that is where frogs are often found. Yes, but frogs can be seen all over, not just in heavy slop. And often the retrieves we use in the thickest cover and slop don't resemble how a frog actually swims at all. We're just trying to make enough commotion that it gets the attention of a bass buried up in that stuff. Now, the reason I bring this up is because just last week, the last Bassmaster Elite Series event was held on the Upper Mississippi River at La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's one of my favorite places of all time, and in fact, I'm heading up there in just a couple days. Well, whenever the elites go there, frog fishing is likely a key presentation. Here we can see Pool 8 where the event launches out of on my deep dive app. When we look at the suggested lures, the hollow body frog comes up right away. Not a surprise. And the interesting thing here is that no matter what water clarity I select, the color choice for all three is black. I'll get into that in a minute. It's really interesting. And here on the suggested retrieve section, it talks about using a slow and steady retrieve, of course, imitating a real frog. And it also mentions the importance of pausing and leaving the lure sit. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. Well, let's start off with why in the last couple of years I have fallen in love with black on bright and sunny days. When bass are drawn to looking up against the bright sky, everything is backlit by the sun. Well, what naturally happens? We really only see the profile of the lure, not necessarily its true color. For example, here is a sexy frog in its namesake sexy frog color. With the legs dangling down, we can pick out a few of the different colored strands, but the belly of the lure, which is white, looks quite dark against the bright sun. This is where I now like to use a black frog in that situation to try and provide a better defined profile. I use the natural colors or lighter colors more often when it is cloudy out and overcast. Now, I know that kind of goes against traditional thinking, but I hope those visuals demonstrate why I have been rethinking my color choice with frogs. Well, now let's break down the retrieve. Like I mentioned earlier, when the matted vegetation and surface clutter is thick, working the lure with some strong pops and hops can help alert predators down below it's there. But when it comes to open water, that's when I like to just pull the frog. In fact, if I do twitch it, just a little. The wide body leaves a nice wake. Bass in these more open areas can see it a long way off, and that is where I really like to do natural presentations. If you have watched frogs swim in the wild, they just barely slide along, unless of course they are startled. But when loafing, they glide without much commotion at all. When we think about hollow body frogs this way, it suddenly opens up a huge range of places to fish this lure, not just across heavy vegetation. And the pause is so important. In fact, these strikes I got on film a few years ago almost all happened when the lure was sitting still. This day was quite overcast, and there was actually a decent amount of wind as well. The legs moving around in the water when the lure is sitting often is all the movement needed to coax a fish to attack. Thank you to the Deep Dive app for sponsoring this video. You can find out more information about them on the Google Play Store, the Apple Store, or you can follow the link down below. And hey, if you would like to watch a video that talks about why a big worm this time of year in the late summer, early fall is so effective, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.